So number 4, we are required to calculate x and y. So let me start with the x. So by looking at the corresponding side, so this side here corresponds to that, yeah, and this side corresponds to that. We can take the ratios of those sides, yeah, because these two shapes are similar. So x over 10 should be equal to 18 over 4. So that implies that the opposite of dividing by 10 is multiplying by 10. So x will be equal to 18 multiplied by 10 divided by 4. And then you just plug that in the calculator, and that will be equal to 45. So this should be equal to 45. So x will be equal to 45. And then for y, we shall just do the same thing. So y, this side corresponds to that. So y over 40.5 will be equal to, so 4 over 18. Yeah, because those are the corresponding lengths. Yeah, this one over that should be equal to that one over that. And then the opposite of dividing by 40.5 is multiplying by 40. So 4 multiplied by 40.5 divided by 18. And if you plug that in the calculator, that will be equal to 9. Yeah. So basically, x is equals to 45 and y is equals to 9. Okay, number 6, calculate um, the value of x and y. So we can start with the x, and we are just going to use the same approach. Take the ratios of these sides. So x over 13 will be equal to 9 over 6. So x will be equal to 9 multiplied by 13 divided by 6. And then you just plug that in the calculator, and that will be equal to 19.5. And then for y, we just do the same thing. So y, this side corresponds to that. So y over 16.2 will be equal to 6 over 9. So that implies that y will be equal to 6 multiplied by 16.2 divided by 9. And then you just plug that in the calculator, and that will be equal to 10.8. And those will be your solutions. So number 7, find the length of QR. Now, what you need to notice here is that this side here corresponds to that, yeah, and of course this other side here, where is it? Q. So the one QR, yeah, this side here basically corresponds to that there, because this is the same as that, so it corresponds to that. Yeah, so let me just write this as a statement down here for you to be able to see that. So QR, which is the same as this length here, PS, um, so not QR is equals to PS, just for information. So QR over AD should be equal to, because the inside rectangle is enlarged to get the outside rectangle. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, so the ratio of their lengths should be the same. So QR over AD should be equal to PQ over AB. And then what you're just going to do here is to plug in the numbers and, solve for QR. So QR over AD, which is 6, should be equal to 7 over 10. So that implies that we know the opposite of dividing by 6 multiplying by 6. So QR will be 7 multiplied by 6 over 10. So which implies that QR will be 4.2 because 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, let's move on to number 8. Here are two similar triangles. LM corresponds to PQ. MN corresponds to QR. Find the values of X and Y. So, and to find this, we'll just take the ratios of the corresponding lengths. So basically, X over 14 will be equal to 15 over 21, because this over that will be equal to that over that. And the opposite of dividing by 14 is multiplied by 14. So X will be equal to 15 multiplied by 14 over 21. And then you just plug that in your calculator, and that will be equal to 10. And then for Y, same approach. So this one divided by that will be equal to that one over divided by that. So Y over 18 will be equal to 21 over 15. So Y will be equal to 21 multiplied by 18 divided by 15. Well, because again, the opposite of dividing by 18 is multiplying by 18. And that will give you 25.2. So that's how you work out that question. Okay, moving on to number 9. So here are three similar triangles. Find the values of W, X, and Y. All right, so first of all, we need to look at the corresponding angles. So by inspection, we know these are not drawn accurately, but by inspection, obviously the obtuse angle has to stand out, and this is the obtuse angle. So this one here. So this angle here, that angle there, and this angle here. These are obtuse angles. They are more than 90 degrees and less than 180. So basically, these ones would definitely be the obtuse angles. And then, if you look at this, remember in similar triangles, the angles will be the same, yeah, but of course the lengths will be different, yeah. So the angles still be the same because it's the same shape. So the corresponding angle should be the same. So if that is 94, this will be 94, and that will also be 94 degrees, just for information. Now, if you look by inspection, if you look from the top here, from this direction here, that direction, this is just one strategy on how to know which angles were. If you look from the top, you can see that 56 is on the right. Yeah, so if we look from the top here, of course, the angle on the right should be 56, which is that. So W should be 56 degrees. Or I can just write in inside here. So this is 56 degrees. Yeah, because if you look from the top here, it's on the right. The top, it's on the right. And the same here, if you look from here, yeah, if you look from the obtuse angle, I should say not the top, but obtuse angle. If you look from the obtuse angle, 56 on the right. From the obtuse angle, it's on the right. So the obtuse angle, then that should be the, yeah, 56. Which implies that the remaining angles will be 30 degrees. So I'll just write this. So this will be 30 degrees. This will be 30 degrees. And that will be 30 degrees. I'm just drawing three lines so that you can be able to differentiate those. Yeah. But yep, that's how you go about that. So once you have that, we can go ahead and find, actually we have W, so W is it's 56 degrees. And now we need to find the others. So let's start with X. So to find X, I'm going to do something here. I'll name these triangles just so you know which one I'm referring to. So this one will be my first triangle, second triangle, and third triangle. So to find X, I'm going to consider, because where X is in the third triangle, yeah? So X in the third triangle. So I'm going to consider triangle 3 and 1. Yeah, so I'm going to consider 3 and 1 to find X. Um, the reason is because uh, this side here, X, corresponds to this side here. Just look at the angles, 94, 56, 94, 56. So that corresponds to that. And then 20, of course, is the longer side, which corresponds to that. So that's why I'm choosing those two triangles. So consider um, consider triangles 3 and 1. So if you consider those two triangles and just find the ratios of the corresponding sides. So x over 6, I've said, will be equal to the ratio of the longer side, so 20 over 12. So x will be equal to 20 multiplied by 6 over 12. And then that will be equal to 10. So x will be equal to 10. And then for the next part, which is y, I'm going to consider triangle 2 and 1 as well. It can work either way. It's just that you look at it, like for example, y here corresponds to this side. So y is between 94 and 30, 94, 30, and then you have the longer side. So that's why I'm considering those two. So consider triangles 2 and 1. And then you can go ahead and find the ratios of those corresponding sides. So basically, y over 10, so this over that should be equal to the ratio of the longer side, so 8 over 12. So y will be equal to 8 times 10 over 12. And that, if you plug that in the calculator, it should be 6.67. That's how you work out that question.